Today's horoscope from Astrocademy. With Venus being your planetary ruler, you are one of the most romantic zodiac signs of all. Our lesser benefic is a true beauty to behold. Her dominion as the guardian of romance, marriage, relationships, pleasure, and beauty makes her especially important in the cosmos above. This also shows that you innately prefer harmony and peace in your relationships and hunger for partnership above all else. You know that love is worth it, and you deserve to have all the greatest unions and commitments. Embrace this energy now and forever to live the life of your dreams. Which path will you choose? You may find yourself at a fork in the road when the moon enters Gemini. Whether this is literal or metaphorical, the lunation will allude to a choice that will influence the trajectory of your professional journey. Opportunities to travel for work, relocate, or even dive into an educational possibility are on the table. You might be ready for this incredible change of pace, too. But you will not know unless you try. So, do not wait any longer, or else an awesome opportunity might pass you by. As the moon leaves your financial sector and wraps up the weekend's eclipsing full moon, this will leave both sides of the financial fence shaped by the experience. As well as leaving you with a new sense of awareness on the financial front, on the other side of the financial fence, Mercury's smart head for money and Mars' warrior spirit have come together to turn any financial tension into motivation. You have never been one to abandon a course once set out on, however. You must get used to the little detours life shows us along the way. Rather than looking at these detours as setbacks, consider them as curves in the road that were too subtle to be realized when you were starting out. Have faith that you're still on the path. Support your sensitive nature by taking nighttime or early morning baths with a few drops of lavender oil. You are going to meet someone interesting. Starting next week, you will get some news about this new relationship and this will soothe your heart. Until then, you will be going through a gray period, most notably in your professional life, and there will be some friction in your life today. You aren't very flexible and are not very understanding, so tensions will be multiplying. The vibrations are speaking of this period as one in which you will be a little bit tormented, but this won't last long. In your sentimental life, be patient and everything will fall into place. While with the moon in your financial sector after yesterday's eclipsing full moon, there is likely to be a lot of intensity on both sides of the financial fence and even some financial tension. It won't take much to turn this into motivation. Yesterday's eclipsing full moon was a result of the moon's clash with the sun in your income sector, but today, it is just as Mercury and Mars align there that they will clash with Jupiter in your financial sector. As some of the most powerful planets in the solar line up on opposite sides of the financial fence, this creates the potential for a breakthrough. When the moon left your relationship sector yesterday, it not only left you more emotionally engaged but chances are, feeling a lot more confident and aware. For the first time in months, there was no planetary activity in Libra for the moon to clash with, lowering the chances of any personal and/or relationship tension while without the emotional fog of war, leaving you with a better sense of what you want from your relationships and what they need from you. Our eyes in the sky. Before leaving an intuitive and imaginative part of your chart today, the moon will spend its final hours at a friendly aspect to Pluto in your financial sector, as it does with each monthly visit. The difference is that this is their first encounter since Pluto turned direct, and as he will be leaving again in January, this will give you an intuitive sense that the tide has turned as well as a chance to look to the future with confidence. It is just as the moon is wrapping up the weekend's eclipsing full moon in your career sector with a friendly aspect to Pluto in your work sector that Venus, in her last full week in your income sector, moves into a friendly aspect to Uranus on the career front. This wraps up an important few days across the income, work and career fronts, but with things continuing to evolve as Venus not only works to make her final days as lucrative as possible but to leave you with something that you can commit to. It is just before leaving your work sector and wrapping up the weekend's eclipsing full moon that the moon will spend its final hours at a friendly aspect to Pluto, for the first time since his direct turn in your income sector. With the brakes off, this allows the tail end of the wave this has created to give income potential a nudge, just as Venus, the planet of money, is working to make the most of her last full week in your career sector. A tendency to push yourself forward creates an adverse impression with the people you meet. Even if it's not intentional, your attitude disrupts any potential for things to run smoothly. Try to restrain yourself. Otherwise, you're unlikely to impress anyone, since your boastful manner makes you seem conceited and unapproachable. As you cannot know what the future holds and things can change quickly, prepare to be flexible, also in financial matters. You might suffer unpleasant consequences if you make a big investment or acquisition now. If you're given this advice, remain skeptical and take some time to consider, as the information might not be the best. The moon moves from Taurus to Gemini today. This lunar switch allows us to discuss the events that unfolded during the lunar eclipse. If the eclipse energy is making a situation cause emotional hurt of some kind, it's important to let out any pent-up emotions while discussing it with friends. The more you hold things in, the harder it will be to release the energy and move past it. It is halfway between the Sun's departure from your work sector last week and Venus' return next week, that the moon makes a well-timed return to your income sector. As well as returning to ensure your nose for money is sharp in the heart of the working week, and as you prepare to move into the new month, this is a chance to get a sense of where the money is before Venus, the planet of money, returns to steer work and job matters in a lucrative direction. It's hard to bring your feelings under control calmly and rationally. If you don't, you make decisions you later come to regret. Conversely, if you're normally a calm person, who keeps their feelings to themselves, it is easier for you to show them, enabling you to create clarity, to deepen and improve on any personal relationships in which you're involved. If you plan to make some financial transactions, wait a little and think things over at your leisure. There are some obstacles in the way that prevent the matter being handled as smoothly as you imagined. Even though you'd like to buy something, far better to wait if you want a favorable outcome. Be careful with your health and avoid pushing yourself too far. Circumstances sometimes result in greater difficulties arising than you might expect, and for this reason you need to save and ration your energy. Take a step back, don't get unduly stressed. Being too ambitious doesn't help you achieve your goal.